Hi, I am Hui Ying. I am the Chief Trainer at Far East Gem Institute. Thank you for watching this video on gem discovery, beauty and value. In this video, I'm going to show you some of the frustrations that people have when they buy gemstones and jewelry, and especially for some of you who are very interested in gemstones and are collectors, and eventually you are thinking that you might be able to do something in this industry, make a business out of it, or make a profit out of your passion. So right now, let me just introduce our group to you. We are Far East Gem Group, and this gem group actually is started off from Far East Gems and Jewelry. And this Far East Gems and Jewelry was founded by my big boss, Mr. Tay Tai San. He had a jewelry store at Tanglin Shopping Center in Singapore, and then he was very interested in doing research as he was a geologist by training and a gemologist by training as well. So what happened was that there was a lot of treatment happening in the market, especially on rubies. So he decided that he wants to actually get on to do some research about the treatments that are done on rubies during that time in the 1980s. And with that, he started the Far East Gemological Laboratory. And since then, he actually decided that he would want to be corporately, socially responsible. So we got an ISO accreditation, 17,025 since 1998. And there were many jewelers in the trade, in the market at that time, who are handing over their businesses to their children. So they requested for Mr. Tay to teach their children gemology, and that was how Far East Gem Institute birthed forth. It was founded in 1988, and so since then we have trained more than 1,000 jewelers in Singapore. The bosses themselves, the directors, the managers, and also the frontline staff. So we are still training them, and we have already added on more courses and consolidate many of the courses, where 3 of them are actually government funded for Singaporeans and PRs in Singapore. And with that, we developed more entities like Far East Gems Import, where this will help our students if they want to buy gemstones for their own customers. So many times they actually come to us because they believe that we could provide a better service for them in terms of testing of gemstones and identity of gemstones. So they come to Far East Gems Import to buy gemstones and sometimes to craft jewelry with our entity over here, and to sell them to their own customers. So from the institute, 2 other entities was birthed forth, which was the Gem Times. This came about in 2010, 5 years ago, where we actually have a yearly publication, and we have small little publications and journals that were written and published also in other journals internationally. This year, 2015, in June, we started our first gem museum, the most comprehensive gem museum in Singapore. And we have since attracted many people who are gem lovers to come and visit the place. So we are in the midst of creating more activities and more fun things to do, more cool stuff for people to come and attend and to enjoy their time with us, learning about gemstones, and also having a good time to enjoy what they love. So through our many years of experience teaching the people in the market, in public, gem enthusiasts, collectors, hobbyists, jewelers, gemologists themselves, we actually we found out that there are generally 3 major frustrations with these people. And these 3 major frustrations are, first of all, they do not know the product very well, because so many treatments are done on gemstones in the market. It has come to this point where even some gemologists who are supposedly trained are not able to identify the treatments that has been done on the stone. And of course, there are many stones that are very desirable, but at a very high price. So in the market, you also see many imitations out there that are very desirable as well, but it's not worth as much as the genuine stuff. The next frustration is the price, of course. If you do not know the product, you're not able to ascertain the price, you do not know the value of it, and you're not confident to buy at the price. So what happens in Singapore is that many jewelers started to go on the price war. They give discounts, they give discounts after discounts, more discounts, and they have like 70% sales all the time. And customers are confused sometimes because they do not understand the product very well, so they are not able to put themselves to pay a certain price for something that is really beautiful and really valuable. So they miss the chance, and they miss the chance to own a beautiful piece of jewelry or a beautiful piece of gemstone for themselves. Finally, they are not confident with people. They're not able to trust jewelers, they're not able to trust gem dealers, they're not able to trust diamond dealers, they're not able to trust the people that are selling jewelry, gemstones, the high value goods in this industry. Not because these people are fake or these people are out to cheat, but because there are too many of the black sheeps out there that causes a lot of confusion for the consumers, for the market. So even hobbyists and enthusiasts, they had to spend a lot of time and a lot of money to in order to be confident to buy, and usually they only buy from a few people. So in order to get into this trade, this industry, it tends to be really difficult, because without trust, you have difficulty starting a business, you have difficulty getting your customers. You might start off very well from the people whom you already know in your network, maybe in your professional network or other places, your family, your friends. But after that, you realize that you come to a bottleneck where you have difficulty getting more customers, more people coming to buy from you, although you know that you are selling good stuff to them. So these are the three major frustrations that most people have, and this causes a problem in the trade as well, because then everybody is fighting for some fighting for position in the trade, and they are not able to identify themselves very well. So we need all these three come together, and you realize that you end up in a very small portion there, that where first of all you know your product very well, you know your price very well, you can explain your product, you can explain your price to your customers very well, and of course you are a people person, you are someone that your customers can trust, and a brand that people can remember and people know, and that they will spend their money to buy your products. First of all, to get to that part of the cycle, we have to understand value. Many times, even as a jeweler have difficulty understanding value. Their staff have very difficulty understanding value as well, because value is not price. All right, so later on we will talk a little bit about that. But first of all, to understand value, we need to look at the gemstone pipeline. For jewelry, of course, there are some jewelries that are just gold and silver and even costume jewelry, but we're talking about gemstone jewelry here in particular. So for gemstones, you can see that there is a mining process, and this takes long time. Sometimes even in a mine, you don't get anything in 3 years, and on the third year, you finally found something that is beautiful, big, valuable, and can command a certain price, and that's it. And for the next couple of years, it's empty. There's nothing again. So at that point, things that gemstones that you find in a certain mine are really precious. Then, of course, parallel to that, there is the manufacture of artificial materials, where it is very popular, very acceptable because of the price that is cheap. And of course, artificial materials tend to look beautiful, tend to look more colorful, and tend to have less, um, um, blemishes and yeah, natural characteristics. So from there, these stones are sent to the rough dealers, or rough dealers buy them. Some of them they are cutters, some of them they are treaters. For example, sapphires tend to be treated before sent for cutting and to the rough dealers. So from there, the stones are passed laterally to each other, and then they move on to selling to cut gemstone dealers as well as jewelry manufacturers. So you can see those arrows moving back and forth, and the stones just keep circulating around here until someone finds a value in it and buys it and move it down the pipeline to chain. And the jewelry manufacturers need to design the jewelry and to set them and eventually sell it to the retailers or put it at the retailers for sales to the customer. And the customer, sometimes they buy it, they keep it, and they realize, hey, I'm not wearing it anymore. I don't like it anymore. It's out of fashion. And then, or sometimes, unfortunately, some customers, they passed away and they had a whole lot of jewelry, they need to sell it off. So this jewelry and gemstones end up in auction houses. Sometimes they end up at the second-hand jewelry sales and pawnbrokers. And it just circulates around here. So as it circulates around here, you can imagine the price would have gone up by a lot from the mining process all the way to the retailers. So the customer will just keep getting the same thing for the same price or even higher price, and there is a bottleneck that a certain item can get to, and that is where the price is just sky high and nobody wants it anymore. So this is the gemstone pipeline, and the pipeline creates a value in the gem material. So coming to the retailers, there is a process from the jewelry manufacturers, which is the jewelry production process. So the jewelers got to source for gemstones, they got to source for suppliers, for gold, for silver, for craftsmen, and so on. And then it will be sent for designing. It could be designing of the gem material, it could be designing of the jewelry itself, rings, pendants, necklaces, earrings, and so on. And many times after designing, a molding process is done to make a mold for perhaps mass production, or to make a mold because the item is just very intricate. And sometimes it's sent for setting directly, for making and manufacturing, because certain materials, like if you use platinum, it's difficult to put it in the mold and make it beautiful, so they hand make it. And then the most important process is the quality control process, where you need quality assurance procedures to have the quality control process done properly, done well. And during this quality control process, in our opinion, this is the most valuable process in the entire production process. So from here, it makes sure that what gets to the consumer are the best, or what is defined as the best for a particular jeweler. And if it is not, it will go back to sourcing, designing, molding, making, setting. Or if it is good, it will go straight down to their inventory, and through marketing, sales, and then another process that is valuable is the after sales or the customer service. So this entire production process is a long process. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes a lot of expertise. It takes a lot of experience. It takes certain character for people, certain people, to make sure that the quality control is done properly, so that the customers are getting what they should be getting, which is a good quality, handcrafted or machine crafted jewelry to wear on their special occasions. So, having gone through the pipeline and the jewelry production process, what is value? What is price? What does each mean to you? As a consumer, or even as a jeweler in a trade, or someone who just love gemstones, love to collect gemstones, what does it mean to you? We have met many customers, many students whom, you know, they believe in paying for something that they love, and that is value for them. So price may not be such a big issue as long as they like what they are buying. Just another example, you know, value can be very personal, very sentimental, but price depends on the market. Price is a number. Value is something that you cannot put an amount to it. It is something very personal and very subjective. So for gems and jewelry, if you think that the piece of jewelry does not suit you, the value of that piece of jewelry is low, no matter what the price is. If you think that that piece of jewelry is beautiful and you love it, that piece of jewelry has very high value, no matter what the price is. So before we get into buying jewelry, buying gemstones, we need to decide and need to know what gives it a value. Why is this jewelry valuable? Why is that gemstone or that diamond valuable? Why does it command this price? Why is it expensive in the market? Why is the market value as such? Why is it different from country to country? Why is it different from jeweler to jeweler, although the quality of the material is the same? So we have to decide upon it, so that when we make our purchase as a jeweler, as a dealer, even as a consumer, we know exactly what we are buying, and we don't get swayed by what others tell us. So to determine the price, we need to know the value, and what determines the value is, of course, the quality. It could be the quality of the gem. It could also be the quality of the workmanship of the piece of jewelry. Sometimes, even if the jewelry is just made up of gold, that gold quality, the fineness, can mix up a quality and gives a value, and therefore it can determine a price in the market for the consumer. So in terms of beauty, we talk about quality. And the most famous quality factors are the 4C factors. These 4C factors can apply very well to diamonds, of course, and it can also apply to certain gemstones such as rubies, sapphires, emeralds, generally crystalline materials, crystalline gemstones that you see in the market. Gemstones like pearls, amber, jade, nephrite has a different set of quality values or quality factors that we look at, which we will not be discussing over here. So if we look at beauty in terms of the 4Cs, of course we have, first of all, the carat weight. The bigger, the better, more beautiful, more attractive. All right, and people love big gemstones. Of course, if you are a collector, you want to buy as big as possible. If you are a woman who wants to adorn yourself, you will not buy too big a stone, except for a diamond, perhaps. So, carat weight determines the price, determines the value. Also, because it is very rare to get a large piece of gemstones. For certain gemstone, it is just simply impossible. All right, for diamonds, the largest piece that was ever found was a 3,106 carat diamond, which is now cut, and one of the cut diamond is set into the scepter and the crown jewels. Next, of course, is the clarity. We do not like something that is, opaque or not transparent for a crystalline gemstone. Some gemstones such as turquoise, malachite, lapis lazuli, perhaps some of the interesting gemstones that are really opaque, and people love it because of its color. It is bright, it is beautiful, it is amazing, and it has certain patterns on it that some people just love it very much. And of course, it comes in massive forms, so you can actually carve it, you can cut into cabochon and set it as no matter however you like it. And since it occurs in massive forms, you can get large pieces out of it. So if they are not opaque, certain stones are translucent, like jadeite, nephrite, polycrystalline materials like agate. These are beautiful gemstones that we do not talk about clarity so much. So in terms of clarity, we actually apply it more to diamonds, more to rubies, sapphires, and we do not apply it also that much to cabochon stones such as a cat's eye or a star ruby, star sapphire kind of a material. So clarity affects the transparency and affects the way the material reflects light and refracts light. And in terms of diamond, clarity affects its fire, its sparkle. So the better the clarity, the cleaner the stone, the higher the value, and therefore the higher the price. So for color, what you see here in this picture is pink diamond, and this is worth as much as high as 150,000 right now, and it is a 50 pointer, half a carat. So it is a very high value stone because the color is just very rare, and you don't get it anywhere that easily. Okay, so for gemstones, color is the most important apart from the carat weight. So certain gemstones, the color determines everything. We had one experience where our stone was certified as a ruby, red ruby in Thailand. But when it was brought to America for certification, the other lab certified it as a pink sapphire. And a ruby and the price and the value of a ruby and a sapphire differs greatly. So what happened was that stone's value dropped tremendously, and of course we lost some money from that. But fortunately, we have someone who appreciate that stones, love it so much, and set it into jewelry, and then he just bought it and enjoy wearing it. So in terms of color, it can be very, very subjective. You like it, you don't like it. And some people love rainbow colors. Some people just like dull colors. So it really depends. And again, value is very subjective. And with value, if it is something that is more palatable for people, more acceptable for people, the price goes up as the demand goes up. Next is the cut. Not all stones are always cut faceted, unlike diamonds. So certain stones like a star ruby or star sapphire or cat's eye tourmaline, these kind of materials need to be cut in cabochon in order to display its phenomenal effects. And so such stones are really unusual. And for a cut, usually what we look at is the quality of the polish, the finish. For diamonds, the symmetry is important. For gemstones, it just has to display liveliness, sparkle, light, reflected light, and so on. And that gives it a beautiful cut. And with a nice cut that is acceptable, people like it, again, the value increase, and therefore the price in the market increases. So finally, when we talk about value, there are many people who thinks or who questions, are gemstones and diamonds for investment? This is a question that I would like all of you who are listening to this video to think about. Do you think that gemstones and diamonds are for investment? And looking at the pipeline, it has gone through so much. the price has the stone has gone through so many hands and so many processes. Do you still think that it can be for an investment? In my opinion, okay, gemstones and diamonds are valuable. It keeps value very well. It keeps certain price very well, a market value. There is a market value in the stone. For many years, the price will not really drop or will not really increase. But when in times of need, you can actually sell it easily for some money, and then you can take your cash and do whatever you need to do. In 1997, there was a Asian crisis, and in our lab came a customer who was an Indonesian lady. She didn't look like she was very rich. She didn't look like she looked like she was running away from the Asian crisis. But she came into our lab, and we tested one stone with her. That was a 50 point diamond. Well, it was a pretty good diamond, and at that time, as US dollars was high, it was about $5,000 for that stone, which was equivalent to about 10,000 per carat for that particular stone, which is a half carat stone. So she was happy with our service, and she took out another diamond, which was a 1 carat. We tested it, pretty good quality. At that time, it was worth about $12,000. And then she went on giving us a few more stones, 2 carats, 2.5, 3, 5, 6. And it was just a small pouch. It was just in a small pouch. And there were a couple of diamonds there. We tested, and all together in a small pouch, it was worth about a couple of $1 million. So with that, of course, we do not know what she did with the stones, but we believe that she probably took it somewhere, sold it for half a price, and half a price is still a couple of $1 million. And then she started a new life all over again in US, in Europe, we do not know. So with that, we believe that diamonds have stored value. We believe that gemstones have stored value. We also have had another customer whose grandfather left him 2 large stones. One is a 50 carat cat's eye, and the other one was a 20 carat ruby. So of course the ruby was not like the top quality, but a decent quality, which is worth quite some money. So at the end of our evaluation, that was just those 2 stones was worth about $500,000. So think about it, even if you sell it for 50% of the price, you still get back $250,000, which is pretty good for today's if you have a crisis and you need that money, and this is something very good to consider. But for investment, think about it. Investment, you need ROIs, you need return on investment. So it may not be that good an idea to have gemstones and diamonds for investments. But well, it's really personal and up to you. So of course, to determine the value, we need to know the identity of the stone. We need to know the origin. We need to know whether it has been treated or untreated natural material. So in gem testing labs, this is the process of testing. First of all, we go through a series of gemological testings. Sometimes we need advanced equipment like FTIR, EDX, high intensity UV spectrophotometer, and for example, Raman spectrometer, and so on. Advanced equipment to test the material. Many times we just use a very common gemological testing procedures, such as testing for the RI, testing for the absorption spectrum, looking through the microscope for characteristics, internal and external characteristics, and so on. With that, we find out the identity of the gem, and we decide whether it is a natural, synthetic, or imitation material. If it is a natural material, we have to find out whether it is natural or treated. And if it is treated, what type of treatment. For example, in the market, very commonly sapphires have been heat treated, but there are different types of heat treatment. A normal heat treatment is acceptable in the market. Diffusion treatment, heat treatment, it is not. A beryllium diffusion treatment is not acceptable. So the value change varies depending on the types of treatment on the same stone. So then we have to decide whether it is acceptable in the market or it is not acceptable in the market. If it is a synthetic material, we will want to find out whether it is the type of synthesis, what is the synthesis method, and whether this synthetic material has been treated or untreated. So in the market these days, even synthetic materials, man-made artificial materials, can be treated and sell it for a good price, or rather a high price that is probably not worth that much. And of course, finally, we have the imitation materials that you probably can see many in costume jewelry. And nothing wrong with costume jewelry. It's beautiful. It can be worn. It's just perhaps the durability is not as doesn't last as long as a natural material. But however, having said that, imitation can be natural. For example, um, white sapphire can be used to imitate a diamond, or a blue kyanite can be used to imitate a blue sapphire. A red spinel can be used to imitate a red ruby, or a green garnet can be used to imitate a green emerald. So natural materials can be an imitation as well. And of course, imitation can be treated natural material. For example, a colorless quartz can be dyed red to imitate red ruby, or dyed blue to imitate blue sapphire. So materials that are natural can be treated to imitate another natural material. Imitation, of course, can be artificial, like plastic, like paste, glass, red glass, green glass, blue glass, and even color-changing glass to imitate alexandrite, which is very valuable in the market. Finally, imitation can be composites such as opal doublets, opal triplets, or garnet top doublet, and so on and so forth, just to imitate a higher value natural material. So in the market, treatment, synthesis, imitation always evolve and are still evolving. So in the gemological laboratory, we have continuous research process, and we just keep on doing research and development to make sure to find out more, and even to find out more about different characteristics of different gemstones coming from different localities and origin. So at Far East Gem Institute, in order to be a confident gemologist or a jeweler, we have a 4C method. So remember that these three are our main frustration. We need to know our product better. We need to understand the price, the value better. We need to be a person that people can trust. So first of all, you have to understand yourself. We call the first C clarity. You need to know 4 things. First, you need to know the industry. You must understand what the industry is about so that you can give the right price to your customers. You can give a right market valuation for your items, for your products, or even when you are buying, you know that you're buying for a right price. You know the products in terms of whether it is treated, imitation, or whether it is even the material or the stone that you are looking for. You don't buy a spinel for a ruby, because the price of a ruby and the price of a spinel in the market is different. And you have to know your customers very well, know who are your target clients so that you are able to serve them better. You know what to look for them, what kind of stones that you can find for them, that they will appreciate it and they will like it. And finally, know yourself, know your own personality. What are the kind of gemstones and jewelry you will like to sell to your customers, so that your customers have confidence in you, and because you know exactly what you are selling to them. Second C is credibility. So to get credibility, you need certain academic qualifications. These could be gemological qualifications. It could be other qualifications. For me personally, I have a pharmacy qualification from National University of Singapore, and that gives me pretty good qualification, or rather pretty good credibility when I tell people, because they know that I am scientific trained, and I probably really do know my gemological knowledge pretty well. Okay, I do. So anyway, past experience is important. This is your story. Why did you come into this trade? Why did you start collecting? Why do you love gemstones? Why do you love diamonds? Why do you start designing jewelry? Why do you want to even sell jewelry to people? Perhaps you believe that jewelry is something that is beautiful and you want to make people beautiful. Or it could be something that you believe that jewelry is always for a happy occasion. And when you sell a piece of jewelry to someone, it is always for a happy occasion, and it keeps memories very well. So that is your past experience. Or it could be your past experience in your professional work. Like, for example, if you could be a accountant or financial manager previously, so your past experience with your other customers gives you very good experience, to meet with other new customers buying jewelry from you. So that gives you certain credibility there, and build up your relationship with customers. And this is what entrepreneurs do and business owners do. All right, build up relationship with them, and positive relationship. Always have a good time with them, not just to sell your items, but really to get to know your customers, so that you can serve them better, give them better after sales service, and so on. And build up your reputation in the industry. And usually people build up the reputation through having gemological certification, through networking, through showing that you have been very consistent in what you have been doing. So gemological certification, of course, it is important, because if you do not have a gemological certification, how would your customers know that you know your stuff, and that they are confident to part with their money, and part their money with you to buy a gemstone from you. Third C is connectivity. How connected are you with trade buyers and sellers? Build up a relationship with your suppliers is important. Knowing gemological laboratories, how connected are you with gemological laboratories? Why I say that is because knowing gemological laboratories, you probably will be able to get first-hand information about what is happening in the market, in terms of treatment, in terms of new materials, in terms of new style, anything new that is coming out in the market, the trends, and so on. So that is important. Getting to know gem and diamond cutters. So this will really help you in your business if you have customers who broke their gemstone or who chipped their gemstone. Knowing a gem cutter helps you a lot. And get connected with other jewelry designers. You could be a jewelry designer yourself, but it doesn't hurt, to get to know more jewelry designers. Sometimes you tap on each other's talents, you tap on each other's expertise. Sometimes it is a taboo, but it doesn't matter, because you are who you are, and other people are just different from you. So if you focus more on yourself and your service, your relationship with your customers, it is just really helpful if you can learn more from other people. Of course, you can design a piece of jewelry, but there's no one to make it for you. So jewelry manufacturers are important relationships to build, important networks, and build up your relationship with your customers. Finally, the last C is we gotta have business ethics. We gotta have industry ethics. We need to know what are the ethics in there. We do not just buy and sell, and we don't care about other people. It doesn't work that way. In every industry, you've got to have a certain level of business ethics. And this is corporate social responsibility. Okay, for your customers to trust you, they need to be confident that you are consistent in your business ethics, and you know your industry ethics and industry practices, so that you do not go on the wrong side of track and put yourself in a bad situation where you have to perhaps go through court cases and so on. We have some students, we have some customers who are genuine people, but because they do not know the industry standards well enough, they find themselves getting caught in situations where they do not want to be in. Of course, other commitments would be such as after-sales services, customer relationship, and personal development in skills and knowledge. So these are it's more about continual learning, continual education for yourself. So at Far East Gem Institute, this is where gemology comes alive. We had students who were taking diploma programs from overseas, Gem A, distant learning, but they have done their theory very well, but they couldn't pass their practical. Not because Gem A is not good, it's because distance learning, there is just a certain level of limitations. So when they came to us, we have thousands of samples in the classroom, so they were able to test many different samples, get more experience testing the samples, and straight after that they do their practical examination and they passed with flying colors. So this is really where gemology comes alive. And how so? First of all, we talk about the 4 C's, right? To be the confident gemologist or jeweler, we have the clarity portion, where we actually help our students to do a DISC personality profiling. There are 2 parts to DISC personality profiling. First part is profiling for yourself as a jeweler, as a gemologist. What kind of personality are you, and what are you best doing, or what are you really good at? And then from there, you can actually serve your customers really well and know what kind of stones suit your business better, or what kind of other suppliers you can interact better with. And knowing yourself better, it is always a good thing. In Chinese, we call it 知己知彼,百战百胜. So you know yourself, you know your suppliers, your customers. That will really help a lot. And the other part of the DISC personality profiling is profiling of your customers. Of course, you do not have a list of, I'm not saying that you have a list of questions and you ask your customers to find out their personality, but understanding DISC personality profiling, you are able to ascertain or understand your customers better, and therefore you serve them better, and you know what is a better way to serve them. Then, of course, we have the credibility portion, where we offer certificate courses in gemology, such as gemology, gem identification, diamond grading, and even jade course. We are pretty famous for jade course because we do a lot of research in jade. And we also offer internationally recognized courses from HRD Antwerp, the diamond grading course, certified diamond grader course, and Gem A London certificate in gemology course, which is a Cert GA program that is very popular. And we also help some of our students with their studies in their diploma program, and they do their own distant learning, and if they have questions, they will come and we will just help them as part of our relationship building with our students. And next is connection. What we do is we bring students out for gemological field trips. We bring them out for gem market visits and also gem fair tours. So upcoming gem fairs, I do bring our students out for tour, bring them around, show them people, show them things, show them cool stuff, show them cool gems, and so on. So it gives them more experience, and it makes the study of gemology more real and more applicable to what they do or what they want to do in future. Finally, in the 4th C of commitment, we frequently have topical seminars related to gemology, such as the upcoming one that is on pearl, identification and grading of pearls. And we are also preparing for another one on amber, identification and quality grading of amber. Also other topical classes, courses like fancy colored diamonds and so on. Even photography, photography for jewellery, that will be very helpful for many jewelers or many online jewelers. So these are some of the courses that we, or workshop seminars that we provide. And of course, business entrepreneur workshops. If you are a jeweler, you need to know what is the business environment in Singapore. You need to know there are many government grants in Singapore that you can tap into to help you with your business. It is not to help you to make money from there, but it is to help you to have a better cash flow, to understand better how to run a business, how to hire people, how to, source for your goods, because this is a very international business, very international industry. We also teach you, we also bring in some seminars or some key people in the industry in terms of logistics to tell you and share with you how you can actually import and export your goods in a legal way, in a safe way, and in the best way that you can. So in conclusion, these are our 4C process, 4C method for our students. And in essence, this is what we really believe in. We believe in humility to learn. We believe to respect one another. You may be different from me, I may be different from you, but we respect each other. We believe very strongly in honesty and integrity. And of course, knowledge is power. And as an institute, we believe in education. We believe in bringing education to life. We believe that education does not need to be just in the classroom. We believe that it can be in the fields. We believe that education can be applicable to what you do. So finally, coming up soon, we are coming up with a 10 Steps to Gem Identification ebook. So some of you are really busy entrepreneurs, you are busy professionals, but you love gemstones and you really, really want to know how to go about, identifying the right gem for yourself. So this ebook is for you because there are the 10 steps to identification, and it applies in, it gives you a very foundational scientific knowledge about gemology. So we talk about what are the 10 steps, such as visual observation and using equipment for testing and so on and so forth. So keep a lookout. This 10 steps to gem identification ebook will be really useful for you. So thank you for watching this video. We hope that you have learned something from here. And to find out more about us, you can go to this different URLs to look for us. And some of the URLs are coming soon. So do keep a lookout, and we hope that you will enjoy your time learning with us online on videos. And we have some web seminars coming up soon, live interaction web seminars. So look out for this information. We hope that you will join us very soon. Thank you very much.